Well, good day, peoples. We are back. We are too short on the program today. Bro is
Yep.
traveling, and Lee had to wake, so it is just Coy and I. And so don't get too mad. Let me change the thing to public on Facebook here so y'all can get in. But
Yeah, we are
um,
on X
yes,
and
we are
Twitch as well.
next. So interesting day, huh? Interesting day. It's not even summer yet, and things are heating up. Um, Pun intended. And only you can
Oh,
prevent forest fires. Okay,
only you can create them.
and only you can create them. Um,
Yeah.
we'll start off with this. The trial is happening right now in New York for Mr. Trump. I'm not going to call him President Trump because I don't want to get shadow banned. He's Mr. Trump. And
Yep. Because they're election
somebody,
deniers.
yeah, somebody got worked up about the trial. And no, he's not a Trump supporter. Okay, he hates. Apparently, he hated everybody. And he he took matters into his own hands and took his protest to the next level and to the afterlife. Possibly he's not gone yet, but I think he punched his ticket. He just hasn't gotten
Yeah.
on the plane or the train or the automobile yet. And we thought, in honor of his sacrifice for the greater good, we'd have the guy that wanted to tell him what he needs to do tell him,
You fired.
you're now fired. Okay, and he is. He is
Jeez.
totally fired, like third degree fired. Um, That's worse than a
I
first
think
degree
I think
firing.
it's a step above that. I think it's the fourth degree.
Fourth degree firing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and y'all can say if you guys are talking like you hate the fact we're making fun of the guy that I didn't light him on fire. It wasn't my idea. I don't have to be polite to people that are not smart.
You know, the one thing that this dude has over the other guy for the protesting is that he did it at the Trump trial, which is going to get more media attention because the other guy did it in front of the Israeli embassy and it was only like what, a week, maybe not even that. It was like a couple of days and then they stopped
Mm-hmm.
talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be talked about forever, including in the history books. And when Trump went to trial for his criminal deeds in New York City, a man lit himself on fire outside of the courthouse to protest it.
New York City.
Yeah. That's how it's going to be reported. He's going to be in the history books as the guy that lit himself on fire in front of a former president's criminal trial.
He is let me make sure I put this one up here too. Yeah, but so the trial's going on. I guess they've excused one juror so far.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a couple of jurors actually. One of them was for cause because they were posting anti-Trump things, which a lot of these people are, and then another one recused herself because she was identified as soon as she went home, and obviously because in New York City, if you're on the Trump trial and he gets acquitted and you're identified, you're not going to have a very nice life
Right.
after that.
So in
Yeah.
other words, this is political theater.
Yeah.
That's what this is. All fanfare theater. Okay.
It's all political. Everybody knows it's political. Anybody that it doesn't assumes this is a legitimate case in the first place is not very smart. It's not a very smart person. Yeah, because here's the thing: people don't understand is like they made this into a felony, even though it's a misdemeanor charge to begin with. The reason they made it into a felony charge is because it was to cover up an underlying crime. Except that the prosecution actually hasn't said what that underlying crime is. Nobody knows what is. Right?
Yeah.
So like he was committing a crime and so he's trying to cover it up. Okay, what was that crime? We can't tell you. When are we going to find out? Maybe sometime when we fake it up. I don't know when. Whenever that happens, we'll do it.
Until they get the consensus together to figure out what they're going to charge him with. They can't tell you that.
What is.
Yeah, they have to. In the meantime, Trump is doing this in the courtroom. Apparently, he's just farting up the courtroom. That's what they're saying, because there's no cameras in there. They can start making stuff up, and that's what they're going to end up doing.
And sleeping,
making a bunch of stuff up, which is I expect as much from these people, and now they're also saying that he is also what you call it, falling asleep in the trial too.
Yeah, falling asleep.
Yeah, they say he fell asleep, and okay. Remember the Simpsons did it first? Remember that statement? The Simpsons did it first. Well,
they
Biden
always
did
do
it
it first.
Yeah, Biden did it first. So we're just copying Biden at this point. So let's go to the news and see what they got to say.
Person around us, Evan Perez, are right here on the scene. I can smell smoke. I can smell it.
You can smell the accelerant. Whatever it is that the person put on themselves to burn is clearly the big smell that we're getting right now.
The big smell.
It's called. Where I saw his arm go
human
up.
flesh.
It's not clear whether that was just.
He looks like he's about to smile about it.
Reacting
to the dousing of the flame.
Or whether the flame's right. And
you see
right now they're trying to administer some kind of.
I'm betting you money. He's thinking this is a Trump supporter that lit himself on fire, and that's why he's trying his best not to laugh, because he actually was hoping it might have been a Trump supporter.
Oh, I'm sure everybody on the left media was wanting it to be a Trump supporter, except that he was a nobody supporter. Like, that's the whole thing about this. So what was the guy's name? It was Max Azarello or Azarello.
I'm going to call him Azazel. How about that?
Azazel.
Max Azazel, and that's a demonic name, so that's what I'm going to call him. Let's see what they have to say about the guy.
First aid to him. He's, obviously the person's body is still on the ground there.
There is no movement. We all see we heard an ambulance coming. You have to understand where we are right now. It is a high traffic zone around the courthouse. You already had, remember earlier in the week, you had Mayor Adams on the scene to talk about the amount of law enforcement presence would be here. Remember, a former president of the United States is inside of the courthouse. Secret Service, law enforcement detail, all present for the threat of security rises. It has led there to be a lot of congestion behind us in this particular area. It's also making it difficult for the ambulance to get through to the location of where a burning human being is laying on the ground motionless while they have tried to give him some form of health aid and first aid care. You see at least one EMT standing down. They are trying to here's a stretcher coming out. We're about to see this body be lifted off the ground that has been engulfed in flames for over 3 minutes in time. Although the flames have totally dissipated, the cloud of smoke is still there. We're getting ready, Evan, to see what no human being should see. I see a totally charred human being. His arms are expectantly outright. His legs are down. It appears to be a man. His entire body is covered in a white type of shock.
Yeah, that's called no skin.
Yeah, that's Jesus.
That is called no
skin. I've seen the whole video too. It's online if you really want to watch it. But I mean, I've seen enough of that stuff over the years.
Now this is him.
All kinds of things.
This is the guy. Now listen, and you tell me if he sounds like a Trump supporter. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the I hate everyone crowd.
Yeah.
Start a fucking revolution. Start a fucking revolution. Start a fucking revolution. You've got nothing to lose.
Except for your skin and your life. I mean, you got that.
Yeah.
But if you had no life before, so I guess you're just hot and bothered about everything else. The crazier part about all of this is he was also a good friend, or at least let me not say he was a good friend. He had pictures with Bill Clinton as part of his profile on Twitter.
Yeah.
So hey, for all intents and purposes, if he did support Donald Trump, they're going to have a really hard time providing that, because people already jumped on his profile and yanked all that info. So they can't lie about this right now. And they're going to have to really try their best to uncover and cover this up. But they're going to cover this up as well as the Flames covered him. Oh, probably less so.
Oh, him.
That'd be less.
This is also one of the reasons why we said he's like the I hate everyone crowd. Trump is with Biden, and they're
about to fascist coup us, huh?
Yeah, fascist coup us.
That was his sign before the fire, by the way.
Yeah.
This was the before and after picture of the weight loss program he was on. He had a lot on his mind, and it consumed him. And no, the puns will not end. I just want you all to know I have an arsenal of them for this particular event. He will be in the next installment of Man on Fire 2. It won't be Denzel Washington, but he'll look just like him because he'll be the same skin color. But it'll be Man on Fire 2. Just look.
So we're gonna race swap him?
Yeah. No, you don't need to now. He's wearing black skin. I mean face. One of them two. Yeah.
It's just hilarious to me of how like insane Donald Trump makes people. Like honestly, like I don't get it either. I've told this to my wife multiple times. It's like I don't get it. Like they pretend and act like Donald Trump is the worst thing since Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, and Hitler combined. Like he's done the most atrocious things in the history of mankind. Like that's how they treat him, right? Like he is such a threat to them.
Well, he is.
That he's done such atrocious things, like say mean things and called Rosie O'Donnell a pig.
Well, she is.
Yeah, like that's the worst things that he's done. That's the insane thing about it. Is like what has he really done to you personally that you need to be so upset with? I mean, did he? Yeah, January 6th. That's what we'll say. It's January 6th. Well, he calls that. It's like, no, you caused that.
Now, here's a question. With the trial going on, and let's just be honest about one thing, okay? If he does get convicted of what he's being charged about for, there will be an appeals process, and they still got to figure out how they're going to handle jailing President Trump.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing: for people who think he's going to be in there with the general population, you're a special type of stupid, probably on par with this guy. Okay, if you believe somehow, some way that a former president is going to go to the same kind of penitentiary that regular people are going to go to, it proves to me that your sensibilities are completely absentia and you don't have any brain cells left to rub together. But keep feeling.
You know what's funny is even if he did go to Gen Pop, he would be the king of Gen Pop.
Oh, tell me about it, man.
It's like he would be in there, and all these guys would be like, "Oh man, I love you, Don. I can't believe they put you in here with us. It's so stupid. We'll protect you. Nothing's gonna happen to you, man. We got you.
Come on now. Now you imagine this. He goes in there. He gonna come out like what's his name? Oh gosh, it was a movie. He went into prison, took over the prison, and when he came back out, he was like a kingpin on the outside too. I forget the name of the movie.
There's been a few movies like that, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Watch him end up being like Rorschach too. Just go in there, and when people try to mess with him, he just beats them up.
You're locked in here with me.
I'm not in here with you. You're in here.
It's crazy. Like even if they put him under the ground in the prison, they would still complain that Donald Trump is still a threat to democracy because he's in prison.
He's a threat to democracy.
Is a threat to our democracy.
What part of America is a true democracy? The answer is none, yes, sir. But we're left with this guy.
Well, instead of importing foreign products, I'm exporting their products. I'm exporting their products.
That's not even the only one that he's done this week. Have you seen the confusion of saying Rafa with Hafa or Hafi? Oh yeah, that's a great one. He He said he didn't want Israel to attack Rafa, but instead he said he hopes Israel doesn't attack Israel, basically, because Hafi's is a city in Israel.
Okay, look. We know that we go after both sides of the equation here on Savage Patriots, okay? But let's bring something back to, common sense. Just hear me out. If you have such a disgruntled position when it comes to Mr. Trump, what exactly do you expect setting yourself on fire to do? One, to the case, and two, to make Donald Trump go away. Because here's what you really did. You brought attention to the fact that New York is now a cesspool for this trial, and you're giving reason for it not to happen in New York. So now they have all the grounds in the world to move it to somewhere more palpable to Mr. Trump. Anywhere but New York would be better for Trump. Let's just be honest. Well, maybe not Cali.
Yeah.
Maybe not Cali. But even then, anywhere would be better. So all he did was made it more easy for Trump to just not have it there. And from what we've said and seen, he doesn't like Trump. If Trump can get you this crazy, you were never sane to begin with. Let's just be honest. You were never a sane individual. You had mental problems long before Trump took office. Long before.
Yep. Here's that clip I was talking about of his gaffe.
And I made it clear to Israelis, don't move on Haifa. It's just not, I mean, anyway, I just, look what we did recently when Israel was attacked. And I made it clear to...
There's your president, folks. There's your president.
Anyway, that's the next t-shirt we should make, is him with that face saying, anyway. That's my new, and I mean, anytime somebody upsets me, I'll be like, anyway.
Anyway, just like we're not gonna address it. That's fine.
Like, folks,
not gonna address
I'll say that. Listen, folks. So this trial that's in New York is going to end up being moved. This is my prediction. It's going to end up being moved.
Yeah.
And then it's going to end up being pushed back because they can't find enough jurors. And eventually, by that point, they're going to bring up a whole different charge that they're going to bring up. And he's going to be excluded from the ballot, not because they'll take him off of it, but the just same way they keep him from going to Barron's, graduation.
And going to the Supreme Court.
Keep him from doing more rallies. The problem that they're seeing and they're going to experience more of, the more you do that, the less likelihood it is that he needs to go on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
You are right. Just like they did in 2000. I don't know why they don't learn. In 2016, you gave this man all kinds of press. He didn't even have to go onto your platform to get his word out. You covered him in excess and you just kept going. And you were the campaign trail for President Trump. You're doing it again and you still don't realize you're doing it. You are the poster child for his campaign. Come on, man. Look, I'm glad y'all are doing it though. I really am. Here's why. Because the more you do that, the more we understand and people can see that you are not news organizations. You're PSYOP. And your opposition, period. So keep doing it. Keep going on. Keep doing you, boo. Because the more you do it, the less he has to be. In fact, you're giving him a nice vacation. He can literally go back to Mar-a-Lago and just chill. Not that's also campaign.
This is the thing that people don't understand too. Here's the weird thing: is that if they convict him, right? Donald Trump gets convicted of a felony, right? He can't leave New York City or he can't leave New York State. He's locked into a state. He literally cannot campaign. He would have to do everything from the state. So like they're going to have to force a presidential contender into a state of not being able to proceed with elections. Right? Because of this. Like it's so insane to me that they think this is going to work out in the betterment for the US. And they're already trying to apply to the appeals court. And then this clip from CNN is amazing because it just shows the quiet part that they won't admit that it's true that he won't be able to get a fair trial.
I mean, I think all of us as human beings want to think we're fair people and that we're not going to be judgmental and we're going to sit in the room and listen with an open mind. But again, we're all human. And for those of us who've watched, Donald Trump on television, and I've certainly, been in the room with him many times through my experience, it's hard to separate that from the man sitting at the defense table. I mean, I think
hard to separate it, right? Because they've gotten themselves so worked up into a fervor that they literally think this man is the most evil incarnate possible
person ever. Yeah.
To sit down in any place. Right? Because like at the same time, it's like I still ask them, it's like, what did he actually do to make you so upset? Other than say some mean things. Other than you pretend that he's racist when he's not.
Well, okay. Let's run some things down the hole here. I had a thought today. You know how they say that Donald Trump loves the uneducated, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. If he does love the uneducated, and that's what you say MAGA is, what makes you think that we would have ever voted for Democrats anyway? If we are dumb, your words, why would we vote Democrat and why would you want stupid people voting for you? It tells me then that you don't have any wish to reach out to us. You don't want our votes, need our votes. You just don't want us to have any part of society. You see, the problem is we call you stupid all the time in hopes that you turn around. We know you won't, but we're still going to tell the truth. You're stupid because we watch what you do and we will blazingly admit we don't want you voting. Period. I would much rather you sit down in a corner and shut up rather than vote, honestly, because your methods of operation are inadequate to the task at hand. Okay. Now, if you're going to call us dumb, though, wouldn't you want the same thing for us not to vote? Why would anybody want the slow voting at all? I mean, you already have the slow running the country. Why would you want us voting? So I don't see what the point of them trying to convey information or all that stuff. It's not helping you. And it's also not coming. We're not going to be changing our minds, which is why I tell you there's no more middle ground anymore in this country. People will say, well, if we just realize we have more in common than we do not in common. Name one. Name one big thing we all have in common. And I mean left and right. Name one thing we all have in common that we actually 100% agree on. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Yep.
There isn't anything. Not one. Because your version of a good America is not our version of a good America. Your version of a good America is pedophiles everywhere and children being raped. Our version of a good America is not that, and far from it. There is no middle ground with y'all. We don't want middle ground with y'all. Because in order to come to the middle ground with y'all, we have to leave what we know is right. We're not doing that. There is nothing you offer us that will make any sense, that has our children at stake, that has our family at stake, and that thinking you're going to be this. No. You don't have anything to offer us, man. Nothing. Not at all. So I don't want no middle ground with you. I'm going to stay in my little corner and be rebellious. How about that? I'll be completely rebellious and I won't join you.
It's funny to see that people are actually changing their minds and they're changing towards the middle. Like there's a bunch of people that are like super lefties that are going, hey, maybe we should stop. And they're like finally waking up and saying like things aren't exactly the best.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna bring this one up because I think this is a good one. This is from the horse's mouth itself. You don't need a manifesto. This is him. Okay, let's read. Let me just try and see if I can enlarge in this here real quick.
Yeah, it doesn't work on.
I can't. It says, "My name is Max Azarello, and I am an investigative researcher who has set himself on fire outside of Trump trial in Manhattan." He wrote this obviously before he did this. This extreme act of protest is to draw attention to an urgent and important discovery. We are victims of a totalitarian con, and our own government, along with many of their allies, is about to hit us with an apocalyptic fascist world coup. These claims sound like fantastical conspiracy theories, but they are not. They are proof of conspiracy. If you investigate this mountain of research, you will prove them too. If you learn a great deal about Ponzi schemes, you will discover that our life is a lie. If you follow the story and the links below, you will discover the rotten truth of post-truth America. You will learn the scariest and stupidest story in the world history, and you will realize that we are all in a desperate state of emergency that requires your action. Well, I commend you for taking, said action. To my family and friends, witnesses, and first responders, I deeply apologize for inflicting this pain on you. No, it's not a pain on us, but I assure you it is to drop in the bucket compared to what our government intends to inflict. A little bit of I know you probably won't hear this because you're probably not going to be around long enough to hear it. However, you didn't inflict pain on anybody but yourself. And what you did absolutely nothing to do in curtailing the thing that you say is going to happen. It did nothing. In fact, it may have hastened it. If it did anything, I would dare say you made sure it happened. That's what I think you made happen, because now here's the problem. Let's say they did move Trump's trial, and the people that don't want Trump free decide that the best option is to not even have a trial, but to end him. What do you think is going to happen at that point? What do you think is going to happen? You think somehow there's going to be a revolution? No, there's not going to be a revolution.
Yeah.
And then what's going to end up happening is exact totalitarian thing you said was you're trying to prevent. It will take place.
Yeah.
They'll have no
more. It's already happened anyway.
Yeah. There'll be no more opposition. This is going to be something that you're going to have to live with for the rest of our life here until, you expire. But setting yourself on fire is not going to help anything anywhere, especially the case. Okay, here's my question, Coy. What good did what he do have? Did it have any good at all attached to it? Any benefit to anything that he was protesting? Did it have any benefit?
No, I mean, the whole idea of self-immolation is to call attention to the thing you're trying to spread, but at the same time is like it's coming from a guy that, according to reports from a Florida newspaper, was a very disturbed individual who committed multiple vandalisms and crimes that were related to his machinations, I would say. Mm-hmm. Like it's hard to do that. It's like it's hard to take somebody seriously that has a history of mental breakdowns, right? So I mean, if somebody was going to do something like that, you need somebody like that's upstanding, has no issues, never showed any sign of mental illness, nothing. Like it would have to be somebody that was like, things are so bad, I don't have another choice.
Like me, if I did it.
I'm well, they would still say you were crazy anyway because of look at your show.
That's true, but I wouldn't do that. Just so y'all know, fire hurts. If I'm gonna do something like that, I have to do something that's less painful, effective but less painful.
You would literally need a sacrificial lamb, somebody so clean, so pure that the act of lighting a lamb on fire is so heinous that it calls attention to the thing that you're trying to protest.
Yeah, that person already came and left. He ain't coming back to do that. They no more of that. There's no more sacrifice left for y'all. So if y'all want to keep burning yourself, have at it. This is what, 2 now? That's 2?
Yeah, that's 2.
Okay. They come in 3s.
That's
wait
true.
For the third one. Wait for the third one.
Where that's going to be, I have no idea. But it's like I said, at the same time, it's like this trial is so insane to begin with. Nobody believes it's a fair trial. Everybody knows it's a kangaroo court. The Trump doesn't like Trump. The jury is going to be hard pressed to find anybody that's going to be fair and impartial because everybody knows who he is and has a opinion about him one way or another. Right? The judge even said, I looked into this woman's eyes and I saw that she could be fair. That's a direct quote, by the way. He literally said that, and like we're supposed to take this guy seriously.
What do you think this is? Disney?
Yeah.
Princess Bride or something? What?
He has those inside out people, right? They're inside of his brain, and then he could tell them, hey, this person's good. They pressed a button. Good person, good person, good person.
Yeah. I think that guy did too, but he had just read. I think it was just anger he had, and his head just went. But instead of it staying on his head, it
lit him on fire.
Yeah, it just caught him. He did not control it. He thought he was what's his name? What's his name? Like on Fantastic Four?
Oh, Flaming Torch. I think
Torch.
Human Torch.
Human Torch. That's what he thought it was. He was a Human Torch, and too bad the other 3 were not there to, help him. In this case, we're not going to see the end of this. At least in this trial is going to end up being paused. And that's why I think they'll end up telling people that he's a Trump supporter, because he'll end up putting it on pause. The problem is that if it's on pause to what end? Because if it was on, a pro-Trump fire litter guy, he would be saying exactly what, a pro-Trump guy would say, but he's not speaking like a pro-Trump guy. And if you say we're stupid, there's no way for us to, make it up.
Yeah. But it's also not the only stupid thing. I mean, we have, again, comparing it to what we're dealing with the Trump trial, we have to go back to our actually current president and how he has claimed twice now that his uncle was eaten by cannibals or killed by cannibals in New Guinea.
Yeah, well, I saw it. I was there.
I saw it. It happened, man.
Yeah, it did happen.
Second Lieutenant Ambrose J. Finnegan was a war hero, but the Pentagon says, for unknown reasons, the plane was forced to ditch in the ocean. Both engines failed at low altitude. Why is President Biden saying he was shot down? There's no evidence of that. And why is he saying that his uncle was eaten by cannibals? That is a bad way to go.
He lost his life. It's not, look, I'm not, we should not make jokes about this.
Not.
Oh, wait,
who's making jokes?
Said that his uncle was eaten by cannibals.
I mean, your last line, it's for a laugh. It's for a funny statement. And he takes this very seriously. His uncle, who served and protected this country,
right,
lost his life serving. And that should matter. You have a president that lifts up our U.S. troops, our American veterans every day. Who thinks about them?
Except for the Gold Star father that protested him at the State of the Union because he got arrested. Just want to point that one out. Just want to put that glaring, obvious, like, oopsie for your administration. It looks great.
I think they should ship her to a country where it's really hot. Hear me why. She would make an amazing fan. Have you seen how fast her eyelashes and lids move when she's lying? She could generate a lot of wind power. I'm all for her being at the top of a mountain, just doing that the whole time.
It's funny to me, the evolution that Korean Jean-Pierre's had since she first started to now, and how, like, she's just gotten so to that point where she's like, I am done with this shit. And you can see it on her face that she's just done. She doesn't want to do this job anymore, but because she's a token, she has to continue the job.
Can't get out.
Right? Because you're you got hired for DEI reasons, and now you can't leave, and they won't accept your resignation, and you can't even, like, quit. You just have to keep going. Because they had to get rid of the redhead and replace it with a black one.
Hey, it's the way of Marvel.
I know, right? Because what is gender in another way?
Hey, it's a snap. We don't know. We don't know what their end goal is, and people are going to say he might be a one-off. I do not believe this guy acted this way on his own. Hear me out.
Yeah.
I do not. I have a suspicion that they're trying to paint, and they've always been trying to do this, by the way, paint the supporters of Trump as lunatics in an effort to put more emphasis on surveilling. Yeah. That's what I think they're going to do. And you're going to see them start switching the narrative of who this guy is. And you're going to see them start, listen, mark my words, you're going to see them saying, outlets have reported that he was on the left, but we have it from sources that he was a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
They'll never tell you what the source is, who the source is, just that they have sources that he is. I look, if I'm wrong, good, but I don't think I'm wrong. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And you will not hear about this story. They say, okay, what happened to the other guy that lit himself on fire? Heard anything?
It lasted like a couple of days. Yeah.
Okay.
That was it. Nobody cared.
All right. Why? Because they couldn't get ahead of the narrative. They could not beat the narrative that they couldn't get out ahead of it to say he was a Trump supporter. He was too brazen about who he supported. They couldn't help it. That's when they had to wash it away real quick so that you don't associate the crazy behavior with their viewpoint. This one, there's enough around him that they can nitpick and choose and cut down some stuff, but I don't think it'll be enough because people have already zoomed in on him. And they're already scooping the internet for information. So they'll either brand him as that and ignore the information, or you'll see it just go bye-bye. Like he was never here.
Like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, ash in the wind. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
So the other guy whose name was Aaron Bushnell, by the way. It's trending along with it's trending along with the guy that set himself on fire. So
fire in the bushes.
They're not trying to like conflate the two of them because like that dude was definitely lefty and this guy was kind of I hate everyone crowd, just crazy person.
I don't get why he would be that way if he's telling people to start a revolution.
No idea.
Look, hey, look, the fact that you can announce that you're going to do it on your profile and the FBI. Now remember the FBI, this is how I know he's a lefty. You want to know how I know he's a lefty?
Mm-hmm.
You ready? If he was on the right, that post he made would have instantaneously come down and they would have already picked him up long before he set himself on fire. Because they would have been monitoring his post the whole time. They would have been monitoring that man's post. There is no way he could be on the right. Why? Because if he was, and he said, you know what? I am going to light myself on fire. They would have already picked that dude up. Because he would have posed a threat. But I don't think they picked him up because the lefties talk like that all the time. You go to their profile and you'll find violence everywhere. They talk about, heck, okay, look at it this way. That lady that threatened to unalive the Baker's California people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When did she get picked up? The day after, right?
Mm-hmm.
A whole day after, even though it was done right there. Right there. I bet you money if there was a Trump supporter that did that, he wouldn't even finish that statement. He'd have been in cuffs and out the door. That's how I know this guy isn't a Trump supporter. Because if he was a Trump supporter, none of his information on that page would have been taken lightly. They would have picked him up already. He would have never got a chance to light that match. Never. In fact, they would have shot him straight off.
It's just funny to me because you have to look at how the kind of split in divisions happened, because like you have the Aaron Bushnell situation with him being anti-Palestine, like pro-Palestine, anti-Israel, but the military industrial complex is pro-Israel and pro-Ukraine, and so you have a organization that you've been building up for a very long time that just now had a split with you, and so now they're like, man, we're probably going to have to let Trump win. he's going to be more pro-Israel, according to most people. At least that's what they think, is he's going to be pro-Israel. But I also think that that's a wrong way to go too, because at the end of the day, Trump does what Trump wants, and he's not going to want to put funding towards Israel, except that he said we would do like a loan program to Ukraine, maybe. But then I think it would be too much of a pushback on his base of him doing that.
Yeah, I could see that. I could easily see that. The other thing that the news outlet, that same black lady, when they first saw the chaos, the first thing she jumped to, and no one's going to talk about it, the first thing she said, oh no, gunshots, active shooter. There's an active shooter. She said, I know there's an active shooter here. We know for a fact there's an active shooter. And say, and then I think someone has just lit themselves on fire. Were they shooting phosphorus grenades out of their hands or something? What? Because I think that looks an awful lot like a phosphorus burn. It doesn't look like a regular burn on his body. I think he may have used some sort of a phosphorus base for whatever he doused himself with.
It could be possible. I mean, I have
because he engulfed quick. He engulfed quick.
It was a very fast accelerant. I'm sure he intended to die right away, but the unfortunate thing about self-immolation is that it's not a quick death. I mean, you're lucky if you die quickly, but more than likely is that you don't, and that you suffer through that. It is the worst way to go, honestly.
Good. He's just practicing. Okay, folks, he's practicing for where he's eventually going to end up, and it's okay that they want to practice and see what it feels like. No one wants to go into a situation blind. So he's making sure that he tests the waters, make sure he test runs everything before showing up in the land down below. So if that's how you want to go exit, man, hey, that's on you. That's on you. I personally, even if I knew I was going there, I'd just wait. I wouldn't bother. I'd just wait, or at least try and find a way out. I mean, I wouldn't be content to just stay there, especially if I know, I'm good. He apparently has made peace with where he's ending up, and he just decided to take an express train there. His call.
We're all going down anyway because Biden has inserted gender identity into Title IX. So much for women's rights.
Suffrage away, literally.
Yeah, bye-bye. You're welcome. You're welcome. We did you a solid, women. You have no more safe spaces for you.
So yeah, and I saw that too. The guy filming the whole fire thing. Why are you calling him now? Don't call him. He wasn't of any value before. Why is he of value now? Mm-hmm. Don't call on him. Don't do that. He ain't got nothing to do with that. That is all you, partner. That is all you, homie. Ain't nobody trying to rush you away from it either. The point of this is this: the trial will end up being moved, and it'll end up being pushed a little bit further back. If it does end up being something that they will not allow him to go campaign about, he'll still have a campaign going. The only other option they have is to cancel 2024. That's the only option they have at this point.
We have to because World War III is right around the corner.
It's right.
Okay.
Hey, look, I don't like being right. I told you guys almost 2 years ago that a war would break out. You can You can go back and watch. I said that they would probably try and instigate a war somewhere in order to make sure that nothing happens on American soil for 2024. I even told you that they would find a way to keep him off the ballot. What had they been trying to do? I said it. I don't like being right, but I don't know. I might be right. If
you're just a prehistorian. That's all.
I'm a prehistorian. I'm prehistoric too. If they end up passing a martial law in New York because of this, other states are going to follow suit in fear that this may happen.
Yeah.
And when that starts happening, you're going to see why we have to make it a national thing. You can't go vote. Hey, look, I said it before Rosie O'Donnell said it. Just y'all remember that. I was first. First.
Marlon, here's one for you. Babylon B has no chill. Trump legal team skeptical about impartiality of juror number 6.
Hoseliard.
I know, right? It's like just Hillary Clinton in the mustache. She can be fair and balanced. Like she's some news station.
Look,
I don't think she's let go that she lost 2016. I think that was like one of those things like that wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be her turn after all the stuff she had done for Bill Clinton. She's like, it was my turn.
They didn't lose. She didn't lose.
Yeah.
No, she won. Everybody knows she won, right? Y'all know.
Yeah, right. That's why they call him
Trump,
President Trump or former President
Trump. If you say she didn't win, then you're a denier.
You're an election denier.
If you said she didn't win, she won.
Yeah.
She won.
Like I said, that's what I always find funny about how they talk about Trump is that they'll say Mr. Trump all the time, right? But when Obama's on, it's like former President Obama or President Obama, right? They'll give him his due. But when it comes to Trump, they won't. And like that's just underlying admitting that you're an election denier, that you do not believe that Trump was legitimate, which is what they did for the first 2 years of his presidency, was say he was an illegitimate president and that he didn't win. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. Because it was Hillary Clinton saying it, and she still says it.
They be saying it. They be saying it all the time, y'all. In fact, let's bring that up. I want to make sure y'all remember. Now, YouTube, please understand. This is not us saying it. It's not us saying it. This is Hillary saying it about 2016. This is not about 2020. We are not denying 2020. Okay, YouTube? Not us. We would never do that.
Not I, sir. Not I.
I think it's also critical to understand that, as I've been telling candidates who have come to see me, you can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
Huh?
To great applause. To great applause.
Wait. I thought if you said that, you need to have your YouTube removed, your Facebook removed. You get put in jail. I thought that was not. I thought it was a threat to democracy to say that.
Right. But I mean, it's only bad because of January 6th. If you deny the election because of January 6th, that's what happens. Instead, if you run a shadow campaign of false information to get somebody in trouble for Russia collusion, that's perfectly acceptable.
My bad.
It's okay to use the administrative state to go after your opponent after they win, as long as you don't get caught.
Totally
that's
spaced
fine.
That.
Even if you did get caught, nothing happens anyway. So
man, that's a shame. I'm sorry, my people. I'm sorry. I led you astray. I didn't know that was what the criteria. I thought for sure the criteria was as long as you deny it. I'm sorry. What do I know? I'm just a coon on TV. What do I know?
Yeah.
I'm just a no good conservative coon. In either case, watch out, check and see what happens. But if my prediction comes true, then we're in some hot water. Now the question is what you're going to do. If they do come to you and say, and especially if you live in a blue state, because that's where it'll happen first. If they tell you that on election day or the week before, you cannot go anywhere without government approval.
Yep.
Are you going to do that? If they shut you down in your home and then they start controlling it by shutting off your power and your water. Now, remember, Florida did that. Not Florida, California did that, and New York has done that, and Michigan has done that. Mm-hmm. They've shut power off to people's homes when they want to get their point across. So look, and this was during the jibbity jab season. If they're willing to do it then, they're more, and trust me, they're more than willing to do it now. Just so you can keep in line and do what they say. The question is, are you going to? Because I know for me, you ain't going to stop me from leaving my house. You're going to have to put 2 in me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But you ain't going to tell me I can't leave my house. I'm sorry. No.
This is the funniest thing to me is that the administrative state and the FBI have worked so hard at going after January 6th defendants and going after Trump for any possible crime they possibly can make up to get him to interfere with the election, right? But they still and have yet to charge anybody with the Epstein issue or anything related to Diddy, anything related to Ghislaine Maxwell, any of that stuff that we know that they did. Because you can't get arrested for selling children if you didn't sell them to anybody. You sold them to somebody. You have those names. Where is it? I'm just so glad you can work so hard on some of the other things, like getting grandma from Alaska who waved a flag inside of the Capitol building. Can get them perfectly fine. Can't figure out who was on Epstein's list though.
No, that's impossible.
Yeah.
We'll end with a meme, as any good show does. And this
right.
is in honor of the 2 so far that have exited stage left and hot and bothered.
Bush now, and I will no longer be complicit in genocide.
No chill, my friend. No chill. Here, I got one more for you too. Since we're talking about it, it's trending on Twitter. Is Trump smells like ass because apparently he was farting in the courtroom, and it's like, was that a fart? Some of it was. That smile though, and that painting, man, is brilliant.
Hey, look, y'all can. The problem is, y'all might think that's embarrassing and insulting. We will turn all of that into funny memes. We won't be like, oh, dare you say that about? You say what you want. We ain't got no. We have humor still, okay? Real humor, not like pedophilic humor. We have actual humor. So you can toss that stuff at us all the time. It's not gonna make a difference at all. Like at all. Election was stolen. Election was stolen. And 2016 is a good thing. You say that now, demonetized. Can't make sense of that one. You've burned yourself on fire. It must be a Trump supporter. When you find out it's not a Trump supporter, story's gone. They obviously don't care if the guy dies or lives. I'm wanting to be sure of this. The left doesn't care if somebody does that for them and lives or dies. They just want to make sure that the person that does it, especially if he dies, is not on their side.
Yeah.
Ain't that something? Man, they're calloused. They are some calloused.
They find a mass shooter isn't white.
Can't cover that.
Yeah, it just goes away in a couple of days. Like, can't cover that one. You know.
In any case,
or how being in Australia, right?
It is Friday, people. Friday, and if you are gonna have a relaxing weekend, like I'm not going to have, do it on behalf of me if you don't mind. Go sit on the back porch for me and sip some iced tea. I would appreciate it. Let me know you've done it too, because I don't want to be, thinking you did it and you lied. Tell me, show me pictures too. I want proof that you did it, because I have my work cut out for me this weekend. So make sure that you tune back in Monday, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. We'll have another Rumble event, and we'll have a good discussion then. My topic is already set, and that is the abortion issue. Just so you know, I'm kind of on an abortion, because I have a video I need you all to see. Just remember, I'm warning you now. The video is quite disturbing. Can't show it here. I'm gonna have to do it on Rumble. Okay, just so you know. So next Saturday, not tomorrow, the following one, our Rumble event. Tuesday, Thursday, Hooch. In about 2 hours, Too Strong will be going live. Don't miss it. We pushed it back an hour so old people can get a nap like myself, because I'm probably going to go take one. And we'll see you guys then. Until then, make sure you guys come back on Monday for our next episode of the Savage Patriots. We'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.